There's a reason education sucks, and it's the same reason that it will never, ever, ever be fixed. It's never going to get any better. Don't look for it. Be happy with what you got. Because the owners of this country don't want that. I'm talking about the real owners now. The real owners, the big wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets. And they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. They got you by the balls. They spend billions of dollars every year lobbying to get what they want.
Government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.
The best way to get something done, if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway, from Charlotte, another line going from in Florida down to Tampa of Putin's kleptocracy. Yeah. America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to the idea that Los Angeles and what am I doing here? For two reasons. One, let's be clear. I hear it all the time. Cumulative, I can play for the programs many times over.
Well, I'm sick and tired of smart guys.
Let me start off with two words. Made in America. Made in America.
Welcome back to another night of Shtick with Koolfrogg. We've got quite a night ahead of us. Quite a night. You know, there's some interesting things that have happened within the last day. We got Trump being indicted yet one more time. They just keep on throwing that uncooked box of macaroni at it and trying to see if they can't get anything to stick. And they've been unsuccessful. So they're like, oh, let's do this. Let's try yet another thing. We got Trudeau's carbon tax. A great time for them to actually try bringing such a thing up, just as, most of the forests in Canada just so happen to be on fire right about the same exact time. Isn't that something interesting? Go figure. And then you got some ridiculous shit like Gavin Newsom proposing the 28th Amendment. I really seriously stop trying to infringe on number 2. Why you keep on trying to go against the second? Why? Over and over again, trying to go against that Second Amendment, trying to create this 28th. Plus several other articles that we'll actually go through tonight. We'll see if we can't get through those in a timely manner. Let's say hi to everybody real quick before we do move on. Looks like Moose says, whew, I'm a pass out. All right, brother. You do that. You get some good sleep. And, rewatch crew is a thing. It's okay. It's okay. I get it. What's up, Suzanne? Good to see you, dear. I'm sure that you have some interest in a couple of these articles as they actually pertain to you and Canada. Hey, Mike. What's up, Gohagen? How you doing? Good to see you. Because if they unarm the people, they have control. Yes, absolutely. Over and over again. So, without delay, let's go ahead and we'll kick this up. Arson? Yes. That's exactly what I'm thinking here is government arson at its best, just in time for them to try pushing different types of rules and regulations, trying to up your tax on carbon emission. Because why not? Why not? We started the fire, you pay for it. Ignorance at its best. So, though those are the headlines that I threw at you, there are a few other things, and I'm actually going to start off with some world news before we actually move on to the stuff that's actually there. The stuff that might actually pertain to almost everybody around the world as it's actually being constrained. Here you go. Attack on Russian pipeline in Kharkiv puts Black Sea grain deal at risk. Every fire in Quebec was shown to be started at the same time. Yep. Yep. We've seen that clip. We've seen that clip come over. It was shared. The Twitter post was shared several different places. And yes, exactly that. I watched it, I seen it, and I'm like, yep, we know what's going on. We know what's going on. We know exactly what's going on. So he uses vessels weight inspection under the Black Sea Grain Initiative, brokered by the United Nations and Turkey in the southern anchorage of the Bosphorus in Istanbul on December 11th, 2022. You can see, these multiple boats that are all sitting out in the water or whatever. It probably looks worse now than it did before, being that we're now having other issues. This is a pipeline in Ukraine's northeastern Kharkiv region for the transport of ammonia, a key fertilizer ingredient, was initially breached this week by saboteurs, according to the Russian Defense Ministry. On the evening of June 5th, a Ukrainian subversive and reconnaissance group blew up the Togoleti Odessa ammonia pipeline near the settlement of Masyativka, whatever the heck that is, some city. Why is it so hard to actually pronounce their words? In Kharkiv. The ministry claimed on June 7th statement, so as of a statement from yesterday, it asserted that civilians, without stating how many, had been injured as a result of this terrorist act. Oles Sinhubov, the Kiev appointed governor of Kharkiv, blamed the pipeline breach on Russian artillery fire. There's no risk to people's lives and health, Shinabov said in a telegram in reference to reported breach. As you can see, this big, huge area here on this map that's actually flooded out was because of a particular breach of a dam that was actually destroyed within the last few days. And, both sides kind of pointing fingers at the other saying, oh, they did it. For whatever reason, as opposed to anybody taking up and say, yes, we did that. Look what we did to you. They're both like, no, you did it. For whatever reason, I don't know why they can't just, fess up to who actually did it. Before Moscow's invasion of Ukraine early last year, the pipeline was used to pump Russian ammonia to the Black Sea through Ukrainian territory. The pipeline links Russia's western city of Togoleti in Ukraine's Black Sea port of Pivdeny near Odessa. At roughly 1,500 miles in length, it's the world's longest ammonia pipeline. It's pumped more than 2 million tons of Russian ammonia annually for distribution to global markets. Notably, the pipeline attack coincided with the partial destruction of the June 6th of the critical hydroelectric dam in the southern Kherson region. Moscow and Kyiv have traded accusations over the cause of the damage to the dam, which has sparked widespread flooding and left thousands of Kherson residents homeless. Stop. Every night. Implications of grain deal. The damaged pipeline was inexcusably linked to Black Sea Grain Initiative, a landmark agreement between Russia and Ukraine brokered last year by Turkey and the United Nations. Signed last summer, the agreement allows Ukraine to continue exporting grain. Oh, no, we don't have any more. Do not. So sorry. Go figure. Just so happened to be. So now I'm going to go live. Will you be quiet? Of course, he says no. Signed last summer, the agreement allows Ukraine to continue exporting grain amid ongoing hostilities. Through the Black Sea, since the deal took effect, Ukraine has shipped more than 30 million tons of corn and wheat to overseas buyers. However, in addition to grain and related foodstuffs, the initiative also calls for safe navigation for the export of fertilizers, including ammonia. According to Moscow, this clause implies that the transit of Russian ammonia via the pipeline should be resumed, but Kyiv insists that the deal doesn't cover the transit of Russian ammonia through its territory. You can see there's multiple commercial vessels that are part of the Black Sea grain deal. This they like to actually go and find old pictures to make it look like it's something recent, but as of October 31st, 2022, of course. Following heated talks in Istanbul last month, the deal was extended for a third time to July 17th. Moscow's negotiators warned, however, that it wouldn't be extended further until Russian ammonia exports were allowed to resume. On May 27th, Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova said Russia was ready to reactivate the pipeline within days. She also accused Kyiv of preventing the move by constantly setting new conditions. On May 30th, Vaska, Ukraine's deputy. Will you? On May 30th, Yevgeny, Ukraine's deputy renovation minister, called the United Nations to clearly say that as the pipeline resumes working, Ukraine will have more opportunities to export grain. Other top Ukrainian officials have said that the transit of Russian ammonia would only be permitted if the agreement was modified to let Kyiv um, export a broader range of commodities. Turkish intercession. According to the Russian Foreign Ministry, the damaged pipeline will take up to 3 months to repair, provided that the site is accessible. Providing that the site is accessible. So obviously, they need to actually be able to get to in and around the region to actually fix it. If there's war going on and other destruction, are they going to be able to safely and effectively repair this pipeline? Now, this pipeline, it says the world's largest ammonia pipeline, which actually produces enough ammonia to actually create fertilizers in and around the world, globally around the world. So when you actually think about it, there's a lot to go along with this particular pipeline. Without certain fertilizers, you're going to actually see plants and whatnot actually not getting to the size that that you used to remember them getting to, which could be issues of its own. Don't tell me. I just watched my computer try glitch and at me or whatever. I'm not reading anything that's really all that hard to read. I swear every single night that I have issues with this, with internet. I don't, it's so disturbing. On June 8th, Denis Menturov, Russia's industry minister, told the Interfax news agency that Moscow lacks access to the damaged section of the pipeline. On the same day, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said the pipeline breach would have a negative effect on the Black Sea Initiative. We don't yet know the scope of the destruction, he told reporters, The pipeline, he added, was an intrinsic part of the grain agreement. This will further complicate the situation in terms of keeping the deal going. The issue was broached in two separate phone calls between Turkish President uh, Recep Tayyip Erdogan and his Russian and Ukrainian counterparts on June 7th. Speaking of Russian President Vladimir Putin, Erdogan stressed the Black Sea Initiative's vital role in um, allaying global food shortages. Um, allaying, so it really is, something that's vital to, everybody when it comes to this particular pipeline that actually produces the most ammonia out of the world. You're going to actually see fertilizers, be, diluted. You're going to see fertilizers not being produced. You're going to see a lot of things that you're not ever had been used to before. He also called for continued consultations from the UN to secure the resumption of Russian ammonia exports. In a call the same day with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky, Erdogan again stressed the need for further talks to salvage the Black Sea Initiative. So Turkey's trying to actually play that middle person between, Putin and Zelensky, and saying, okay, so this is something that's necessary. This is something that's necessary that we actually open this pipeline because it actually produces enough fertilizers for around the world. If we can get you guys to actually stop in a certain region and just allow this to actually get fixed, we can resupply the rest of the world with the fertilizers they need. Kind of sounds to me, when you actually think about it, that it might not happen, as there's a lot of people that look at Erdogan as not being that popular of a person in himself. Heard of come across trying to call him Erdogan, as they don't really care for the guy. In his calls to both leaders, Erdogan, who last month won re-election as Turkey's president, also called for a comprehensive investigation into the cause of the June 6th dam breach in Kherson. A commission should be set up to look into the incident, he said, with the participation of experts from the warring parties, the UN, and the international community, including Turkey. Despite its membership in NATO alliance, Turkey maintains good relations with Russia, with which it shares extensive trade ties and lengthy maritime border. In addition to brokering the Black Sea Initiative, Ankara has hosted Russian and Ukrainian officials on several occasions in the effort to mediate the ongoing conflict. So I mean, several different places, different leaders, different people have actually tried to actually get something going to actually reopen this particular pipeline to allow um, it- you know fertilizers, ammonia, trade to actually come back online. um it could disturb the world population in itself. Oh wait, that's kind of what they want, right? Hmm. Hmm. Kind of interesting. Let's see. Let's hit up chat here real quick to see who's all joined us since. Caitlin, good to see you. Glad you're here. Um, Shiloh Man. Hello, Shiloh Man. Good to see you. Hello, Vicky T. And Rabbit. And what is this? What? What is all that? Suzanne, what in the world? All the new LGBTQ weird emojis that come up in words. Look at this. Words all the way across the screen. It's so great. Awesome. Thank you. Just stop by to hit the like on the way to bed. You have a good rest there, Rabbit. We'll see you tomorrow. What else we got going on? That looks like that's about it. Thank you, Rabbit, for throwing up that Rumble and that locals link. That's wonderful. I actually attempted to actually run Kick tonight, but for whatever reason, it decided it didn't want to. The Rumble was working, and guess who's over there? Hello, Great Liquor. Good to see you. Glad you're here. We're gonna actually kind of move on here. So then, let's actually hit up one of these headline key pieces here. Let's do the Trump indictment. It's kind of important to actually understand that they're continuously over and over again trying to do something against this guy. They can't keep him out of their head. TDS is something, and it just hurts their brain. It hurts their brain to not think about Donald Trump. They'd rather let's bring up Donald Trump. We need to talk about Donald Trump. No, you don't. You don't need to actually do anything. You don't need to allege that he did something when we know who's actually doing the corruption. We know who it is, Joe Biden. Former President Donald Trump is indicted on Thursday by Biden's Department of Justice. The allegations from Biden's Attorney General Merrick Garland sent the FBI to Trump's Mar-a-Lago home in August 2022 to seize documents that he claimed were classified and therefore not permitted to be in the possession of the former president. Well, the thing is the second the president actually removes the documentation, he then there declassifies it, makes it not classified any longer, and he can do whatever he would like. But let's go along with what the hell they say, because why not? Uh, what? What? um, he spoke out on True Social about the indictment, saying the corrupt Biden administration has informed my attorneys that I was have been indicted seemingly over the boxes hoax, even though Joe Biden has 1,850 boxes at the University of Delaware, additional boxes in Chinatown, D.C., Chinatown, with even more boxes at the University of Pennsylvania, and documents strewn all over the garage floor where he parks his Corvette, and which is secured by only a garage door that is paper thin and open much of the time. How he knows what he knows is beyond me. Um, I have been summoned to appear at the federal courthouse in Miami on Tuesday at 3 p.m. I never thought it was possible that such a thing could happen to a former president of the United States who received far more votes than any sitting president in history of our country, and currently leading by far all candidates, both Democrat and Republican, in polls of the 2024 presidential election. I am an innocent man. This is indeed a dark day for the United States of America. We are a country in serious and rapid decline, but together we will make America great again. Trump responded in the video as well, calling this one of those things at the highest level. Uh, some things you just can't say. The indictment was anticipated in May. It was reported that special counsel Jack Smith, who had been appointed to head of investigation into the seized documents, was nearing the end of his investigation. Trump was accused of mishandling documents. Many say that since he was the president, he was allowed to review the documents and had the ability to declassify anything he wanted at any time. There has been speculation that he had declassified the documents in his possession, but the Biden administration is hell-bent on prosecuting Trump, and this is what they've come up with. Elon Musk responded to the reports of allegations, saying that there does seem to be far higher interest in pursuing Trump compared to other people in politics. Very important that the justice system rebut what appears to be differential enforcement, or they will lose public trust. Uh, when it was discovered that there was nothing particularly damning in those boxes seized by the FBI, Garland, determined to prosecute Trump on anything, said that Trump had obstructed an investigation by looking at the boxes that were under subpoena after the subpoena had been issued. It later turned out that Joe Biden kept vast numbers of classified documents in a variety of places and with very little security, if any. The case of the classified documents was so extreme that the National Archives put out a call to all former elected officials of the executive branch to have a look around and see if they had any classified documents in their possession that they should return to NARA. At the same time, I don't care who has what. Once you're a president, you have the right and the legitimacy to actually declassify something. When you are vice president, you are not. You not, and especially as a senator, not. You do not have the right to declassify things. The only person that can declassify anything is the president. He can declassify anything he wants. It's not up to anybody else on what he decides to declassify or not. Trump is also being prosecuted in New York DA attorney Alvin Bragg for 34 counts of falsification of business records. Bragg alleges that payments made to Trump attorney Michael Cohen in around 2016 were recorded as legal fees, though these payments, Bragg states, were used to pay off porn star with whom Trump allegedly had a dalliance. Allegedly, even in their own words, allegedly. They just keep on trying to, over and over again. Oh, look, let's point a finger. Let's point a finger. And they keep on pointing three right back at themselves over and over again. That is your membership emojis. No, they're not. I didn't put those there. They put those there. Those are their emojis that they put up there. Thank you so much for the $2.20. Thank you so much. T3 said I should have no. Yeah, no, I didn't put those there. Bragg has elevated those charges to felonies, which is incredibly rare for Bragg, and that the only way to elevate the misdemeanor charge to a felony is to claim that the misdemeanors were committed in service to committing a felony crime. And Bragg has not stated what the felony may be. Without a felony, misdemeanors stay misdemeanors. With a felony, you can actually try, submitting them to actually be brought up as felonies. You can't just do it just because you want to, though. That's not how it works. In every other case, Bragg has prosecuted for felony falsification of business records. He has said that the outset what the felony charges are, but he has not done so in this case. Hillary Clinton and the DNC settled on falsification of business records charges for the fabrication of the Steele dossier, which alleged falsely that Trump colluded with Russia to win the 2016 election. This document was later used on the basis for the U.S. House to impeach Trump again. Based on entirely falsified evidence, Clinton paid a fine of $8,000, the DNC over $100,000. They had recorded payments to the attorney as legal fees when those funds were used to pay for fake Steele dossier. Trump is also being investigated on charges that he intended to not leave office peacefully at the end of his presidential term. However, he left office peacefully as has every single president in American history before him. At issue in this case is the assertion that Trump didn't immediately accept the results of 2020 and sought legally recounts of particular things in key battleground states. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't care. I really don't care if he should have the right to actually ask for any of that at any point in time, just as well as any other president should be able to ask for any of that at any point in time. In some of those states, he worked to create an alternate slate of electors so that in the event that it become apparent based on legal recounts that he had in fact done better than what he actually did, electors would be able to deliver the votes in Congress ahead of the deadline to vote. And this was not the first time in history this has happened. It occurred also in Hawaii in the contest between John F. Kennedy and Richard Nixon uh, in Hawaii in 1960. And the thing is, they can send second slates of electors to to the Senate, where then and there the current vice president, who has the right to pick or choose which one he wants, as opposed to picking or choosing which one he doesn't, he can do what he wishes. But they're trying to actually make it sound like no, he can't. But watch and wait. Watch and wait to see what happens when it's the other way around. When it's the other way around and it goes along with those little gold trinket people that like to do what they want, watch what happens then. The slate of electors were not sent to the Electoral College, and they were not needed. The recounts did not result for Trump. Garland is prosecuting Trump for using all legal means to make sure the counts of the 2020 election were accurate, as was within his legal right. Now, we all know, we all remember, Joe Biden is the most legitimate president ever with the most votes, without a doubt. Trump is absolutely trouncing competition in the polls for the 2024 GOP presidential nomination. And the more the Biden administration and prosecutorial Democrats come for him, the more his supporters appear to rally around. Yes, over and over again, more and more people are waking up to the situation and they're like, no, we see what's happening and we're going to continue to do against this ridiculous administration. If he is nominated, Trump will likely face Joe Biden in the ballot in 2024. Revelations have emerged just this month that Biden took bribes from Ukrainian oligarchs during his time as VP under President Barack Obama. Yeah, because Prisma wasn't a thing, right? And this is likely only the tip of the iceberg if Biden family corruption. Biden is alleged to have taken the $5 million in order to press the Ukrainian prosecutor who is investigating a corrupt energy company and whose board Biden's son Hunter sat. Biden bragged about withholding U.S. funds allocated to Ukraine until such time as they fired the prosecutor who he publicly claimed was corrupt. Trump allegedly held classified documents recording payments to the attorney as legal fees and exhausted all legal options to ensure the veracity of presidential election results. Yet it's Biden and his minions who are prosecuting Trump over and over again. They just over and over again keep on going after Trump. I've said it several times. Uncooked box of macaroni, let's throw it at the wall, see what sticks and what doesn't. And they're going to continue to pull this bullshit of actually trying to say that it was Trump that is the one that did everything wrong over and over again, and we need to look the other way. Just look the other. Don't stare at it. Don't look even near it. It's so ridiculous and disgusting in itself. Disgusting in itself. So, as far as that goes, what? There's a third one. Go figure. Go figure. Let me see if I can't find the third one. There's a third part. I'm just gonna go straight to Truth Social and look up Trump, and we will actually go to the point of actually finding the third document. Go figure that they would release a third one. Where is his third statement? Um, it's too bad. It's too bad. Page 3. This is indeed a dark day. The United States of America. We are a country in serious and rapid decline, but together we will make America great again. Yeah, that was actually part of that. That was actually part of that. That was actually in there. So though it looked like there's only 2 pages in there, whatever it actually was, all 3 of them, all 3 statements that he had actually pushed out today on that. So very interesting, very interesting. Um, a little uncooked box of macaroni. Also wonder if the potato will be facing his own legal issues once he's out of office, since they can't touch a sitting president. Yes, yes. The second that he's not there, what will they do to the demented old potato? What will they do? What's up, Winnie? How you doing, brother? Good to see you, Toybox. Glad you're both here. Celebrating Straight People Month. So then May the 39th. May the 39th, as it is today. we don't recognize June anymore. Trump got more indictments than Capone. Yo, what up, Jimmy YouTube? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hey, beautiful. Thanks for actually pushing that comment at me. So good, so good. Just ridiculous crap. So then I think I had something else to go along with this particular subject before we move on to anything else. We got quite a bit to go through here tonight, and I don't want to be backtracking. I don't want to backtrack on any of it. I'm just gonna kind of skip through this real quick. All right, so is something that we'd actually been sharing in the last few nights, and this goes along with the corruption of Joe Biden and the stuff that has been happening through Ukraine and others. We'd talked about Christopher Wray several different times in the last few days about them actually looking at bringing him up for contempt of Congress. And well, House canceled the contempt proceedings against FBI's Wray. Go figure. Go figure. Oh, look, there's Christopher Wray sitting in front of this World Economic Forum background. Isn't that something? And that's something like we didn't know that he was part of that. The House Committee on Oversight and Accountability has canceled contempt of Congress proceedings against FBI Director Christopher Wray following the agency's release of unclassified document to the entire committee. In addition to the requested access for the entire committee, the FBI is making 2 additional documents referenced In the FD 1023 available for House Oversight, Chairman James Coomer and Ranking Democrat member Jamie Raskin. Like this conversation, these statements that have been made in the last bit here, whatever, in the last few weeks from Coomer and Raskin, it's almost seems like it's monotonous, but at the same time, all of a sudden it's like, oh, stop, let's not do it, let's not hold Ray in contempt. I think they should still hold Ray in contempt and actually make him actually come face them and say what he needs to say. The change came hours after Coomer announced on June 7th that he released a resolution to hold Ray in contempt because of a refusal to comply with the lawfully issued subpoena to view a document believed to pertain to claims that a foreign national bribed then Vice President Joe Biden. Now, is Ray going to actually go ahead and give them all the documents that they're actually looking for, or is he going to hand them a few documents that will potentially fulfill their want or need for these particular items, and just be like, oh, it's not there, I guess, never mind, we'll walk on by now? No, they need to look a little bit closer and still continue to pay attention, in my opinion. We have been clear that the FBI must produce the unclassified FD 1023 record into custody of the House Committee on Oversight and Accountability, Coomer said, according to the House Oversight Committee's June 7th statement. Change in course. The full committee was set to mark up the resolution during a business meeting on June 8th, today, but Coomer's office announced that the FBI complied with the request late on June 7th. After weeks of refusing to even admit the FD 1023 record exists, the FBI has caved and is now allowing all members of the Oversight and Accountability Committee to review the unclassified record that memorializes a confidential human sources conversation with a foreign national who claimed to have bribed then Vice President Joe Biden. In the explanation of the resolution to hold Ray in contempt, the Republican lawmaker asserted that the FBI's refusal to cooperate with his committee hindered their ability to investigate accusations of misconduct on the part of Biden. The report emphasizes the importance of Congress's responsibility to perform rigorous oversight of the executive branch, citing powers granted to Congress by the Constitution. It highlights the Oversight and Accountability Panel's jurisdiction over federal government management and reform in its authority to conduct investigations of any matter without limitations. Americans have lost trust in the FBI's ability to enforce the law impartially and demand answers, transparency, and accountability. Coomer said when announcing that the FBI had caved to his committee's demands, allowing all Oversight Committee members to review this record is an important step toward conducting oversight of the FBI and holding it accountable to the American people. Let's be clear. The allegations contained within the record are not closed as the White House and Democrats would have American people believe. Former Attorney General Bill Barr confirmed this information was sent to the U.S. Attorney in Delaware for further investigation, and the FBI has confirmed it is being used in an ongoing investigation. We also know the confidential human source who provided this information is highly credible and trusted, has worked with the FBI for over a decade, and has been paid six figures. I don't care how much the guy has been paid. I really don't care. I don't care if they're paying him 6 cents. When it comes down to it, because he's been with the FBI for a better part of a decade, does that make him actually credible and trusted? not so positive on that. Is he still works for the FBI? That being said, abolish all three-letter agencies. If you haven't thought about it, actually go to americashirtsaretfirst.com. Only the most base shirts on the planet use promo code Koolfrogg. You get 15% off. That is America Shirts. So where he is, I have no clue. He's busy. He's a busy young man, and we don't bug him. We don't bug him if he doesn't want to. Delaware for further investigation, and the FBI has confirmed it is being used in an ongoing investigation. We also know the confidential human sources provided. Really seriously, I don't get how they can actually. Oh, this guy's confidential. Is highly credible, and it's okay for his confidential information to come out. The allegations contained within this record track closely with the Oversight Committee's investigation of the Biden family's influence peddling schemes. The Oversight Committee will continue to follow the facts and ensure accountability for the American people. White House and Democrat response. Following Coomer's resolution to hold Wray in contempt, Ian Sams, White House spokesperson for Oversight and Investigations, castigated the House Republican in a statement sent to the Epoch Times. Instead of spending their time and energy working on the issues that matter most to the American people, like lowering costs, creating jobs, or strengthening health care, congressional Republicans led by House Oversight Committee Chairman James Coomer and his committee have spent 6 months wasting taxpayer resources to stage politically motivated stunts disguised as investigations. Gee, let me think. Some kind of committee that had been provided to overlook some kind of investigation. J6. Was there some kind of committee that was created for that did exactly the same thing? Spent longer than the 6 months doing exactly what they're saying here, wasting taxpayers' money. Nothing to see here, folks. In just a few short months, Coomer and his MAGA Republican colleagues in Congress have torpedoed their credibility by repeatedly failing to deliver on much hyped allegations. But yeah, we won't talk about the allegations that Democrats had actually pushed on those MAGA Republicans and their fearless leader. Their factory wild goose chase continues to be a waste of taxpayer resources when House Republicans should instead be focusing on real issues American families care about. Raskin also called out his Republican counterparts after the committee undertook the contempt proceedings. He furthered the claim that the whistleblower's allegations were unreliable. In the spirit of good faith, the FBI has offered Chairman Coomer yet further accommodations in response to his subpoena, including to allow all Oversight Committee members to review in camera the second-hand allegations by Ukrainian individuals reported in the tip sheet. Fun. I'd like to see some of that information. I'd really like to see some of that. I'd like to actually see some of it and share it with y'all. Absolutely. He also said the FBI was accommodating Coomer after the lawmaker spent weeks attacking the FBI despite its extraordinary effort to provide committee Republicans with the information that they claimed to seek, and that the contempt proceedings were a ploy to support Republican presidential candidates. Holding someone in contempt of Congress is among the most serious actions for a committee can take, and it should not be weaponized or undermine the FBI. Raskin said, as Republicans' investigation into President Biden has uncovered no evidence of wrongdoing, They continue to attempt to discredit and dismantle the FBI to help prop up Donald Trump's poll numbers. When questioned whether it was Coomer's opinion that the full committee's viewing of the document constituted full compliance by the FBI with the subpoena, the spokesperson for Coomer's office referred the Epoch Times to the chairman's previous comments. That's something. To the chairman's previous comments. Because, we don't want to give you anything new. But then again, this is Coomer's spokesperson. Why would Coomer's spokesperson refuse to bring up anything else other than previous comments? It's really kind of disturbing to actually think that we're going to continue to actually deal with such a thing over and over again. This is now they're like, no, we don't need to. We don't need to worry about any of this at all. We're not going to actually bring Ray up on anything. We're not going to try, finding him in contempt of Congress at all until they find out that this guy didn't give them the information that they all so much wanted. They didn't get it. They didn't get it whatsoever. Again, World Economic Forum. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? Let's see here. Enjoy the emojis while they last. Nope, I will not. Will not. Not gonna do it. Don't want to do it. Biden impeached, goes to jail. Kamala gets Article 2'd. Speaker gets removed. Who's president? Well, that goes to the fourth person in charge, which would be Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell, right? Oh, wait, it's not Mitch McConnell. I'm sorry. It's not Mitch McConnell. Fuck. Who's the Democrat that's in charge of the Chuck Schumer? Chuck Schumer would actually get that spot. Isn't that fun? Hey, Ashinator91, how you doing? Long time no see. He says, hope all is going well. It is going well. Glad to see you. Hope everything's going well for you as well. So then, let's see. He's fifth? No, he's not. You got the president, the vice president, the speaker of the House, and the Senate pro tempore. Those are the top four. So, Patty, whoever it is. Not so sure. Not so sure about that. Let's see what Google said. President pro tempore of the Senate, who is the current president pro tempore. Did they? Secretary of State. Secretary of Defense. No. Secretary of Treasury. Secretary of Defense. Attorney General. But yeah, Speaker pro tempore, President pro tempore of the Senate is number 4. Who is Patty Murray. Who the hell is that? Patty, that lady from Washington State. Oh, that's right. I forgot about her. Ugh. I hate these ladies that came from Washington State. They're all disgusting. You're right. That's just too bad. Then Morgan Freeman? No, absolutely not. It's too bad. That'd be fun. That'd be totally fun if it was Morgan Freeman. Ignore me. I'm in bed. Can't select right freaking emojis. It's okay. Good to see you, Rose. Good to see you. Um, the weird looking one from Washington. Yep. Oh gosh, the emojis. I just noticed they added those. Oh gosh. Yes, they're horrible. They're disgusting. That they would actually just go ahead and be like, oh, let's go as woke as we possibly can, and let's push some bogus crap on all these people, make them actually look at them and share all these weird emojis everywhere. You know, if you continue to use them and they see that you actually like using them over and over again, they'll add them to the list of things that already exist. Just saying, don't use them if you want them to ever go away. Just saying. I'm not lying to you. So let's move on. Move on to the next article here. Here you go. Oh, look at this guy. Trudeau government wants higher carbon tax to fight wildfires because that's what's going to fight the fire. Money. Money's going to take care of it. Claims climate change is the cause. Again, claim. Nice word. The Trudeau government is ignoring the mounting evidence that arsonists are to blame for many of the wildfires. Isn't that something fun? Just a little strange little word that's there, but nothing big to see here. I only like the unicorn because it makes me think of beautifully inappropriate. Oh, okay, there you go. Go ahead and use the unicorn over and over again, so that way there's something there, I guess. uh, the Trudeau government continues to insist that wildfires in Canada are a direct result of climate change. This is despite indications that forced mismanagement or even arson in some of the cases could have played a role. Trudeau has suggested that another hike in the carbon tax is going to help stop those fires, as though Canadians paying more for energy will ease the smoke grounding plains as far south as New York City and Washington, D.C., as well as New Jersey and all the way down and through North Carolina. You know, so when you actually think about it, it's not just one or two little areas. This is taking over a large swath of eastern United States. Despite Trudeau and his environmental minister's assertion that wildfires are simply another catastrophic consequence of the public refusal to do penance to the climate religion, despite the fact that it's basically impossible to prove a causal relationship between climate change and wildfires. The RCMP has been investigating arson fires that could have exploded into much larger conflagrations and poor forest management based on misguided view that forests should suffer no human interference and will just stay healthy, pristine, and fire-free without man's touch. Is also a likely culprit. Many have claimed this is cause of California's summer blazes as well. Whenever I hear them speaking of healthy, pristine, fire-free, without man's touch type stuff or whatever, is very interesting to actually think about the stuff that Donald Trump had said back when he was in office, where he actually said something about raking the forest floor, and everybody laughed. They all giggled. They all giggled at him like it was just a hilarious thing that it shouldn't have been. The fun one is just as a young man, as stupid as I was, as much trouble I got into, I'd actually sat on sentenced to service or community service in itself for several different times, where you have like a leader go and bring a bunch of people, a bunch of guys that were put on sentence to service out into the woods where we were made to clean up all the sticks and brush and move stuff out of the forest floor to help prevent just that forest fires. It's not unheard of to actually go and clean out the forest to actually prevent fires. But whatever, what's this, be ignorant to the point and just be like, yeah, he's a silly old man and he has no clue what the fuck he's talking about. In the House of Commons Monday, Environment and Climate Change Minister Stephen Gilbolt tried to establish a clear link between climate change and the wildfires of Alberta, Quebec, and Nova Scotia without evidence. The CBC, ever the adoring laptop of Trudeau and his minions, repeats the climate change claim. It's all climate change. How dare you? Mr. Speaker, 2016 was the worst year for forest fires in Alberta, and already we're on the verge of surpassing this, and we're on the June 4th with worst forest fires in history of Nova Scotia, said Gilbolt during question period. This was in response to a query about why the Liberal government is poised to again raise the carbon tax at the gas pumps. Well, because that's where all the carbon comes from, right? Not from volcanoes, not from forest fires, not from anything else. Not that much smoke that's being dumped into the air is going to do shit. It's all at the gas pump. How freaking ridiculous. It's only the beginning of June, Mr. Speaker, and that's the response from the Conservative Party of Canada. Let's make pollution free again. Let's allow the largest polluter in Canada to pollute as much as they want. Let's stop using climate change carbon pricing, he opined. Gilbolt, who was a prominent Greenpeace activist and was arrested 4 times for his political stunts, was selected for his government post by Prime Minister Justin Trudeau because he knows how to repeat environmental talking points, not for his faculty with facts and evidence. Because he can actually repeat things over and over again. He's the best man for that job, not because he knows the exact truth or anything. Yeah, just because Trudeau says that it's not what he believes it should be doesn't make that Trudeau's words are just that, facts and evidence. As much as Trudeau and Gilbolt want to believe it, carbon is not pollution. People who create carbon are not polluters. But Gilbolt kept repeating that mantra this week, along with the insinuation that climate change is fanning the flames of wildfires. Of course it is. In response to another question from Conservative MP Earl Drishin about why Canadians will soon be paying about 60 cents more for a liter of gas as a result of the latest carbon tax hike. Well, only 60 cents more per liter. Nothing big. Nothing big. You can all afford it, right? So ignorant. Gilbert returned to his wildfire rant. As I was saying earlier, Canadians are battling forest fires right across the country. It is likely going to be the worst year for forest fires in history. Just last week in this house, the member of the Red Deer Mountain View rose to tell Canadians that climate change is normal. Mr. Speaker, so it's not that the Conservatives don't care about climate change. It's not that they don't want to even understand it. They don't believe it's a problem. So why have any plans to fight climate change? Why have any plans to help Canadians adapt to what is a changing climate as more and more Canadians will face the impacts of climate change? On Wednesday, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau tweeted that claim as well. We're seeing more and more of these fires because of climate change. These fires are affecting everyday routines, lives, and livelihoods, and our air quality. We'll keep working here at home and with partners around the world to tackle climate change and address its impacts. That tweet was blasted by users in community notes, citing the many arson investigations that have been underway in Canada in recent years. The RCMP states that their fires in Nova Scotia were intentionally set. In May, charges were laid in Alberta for arson attacks that destroyed a church. That fire was set on September 2022. The CBC, ever the adoring lapdog of Trudeau and his minions, has added their support for the climate change theory, and US President Joe Biden said that was his contention as well. Again, with no proof. Because it's a talking point. It's an easy talking point for them to actually just say, oh, climate change. It was climate change. Come on. This tweet was met with objections saying that anthropogenic climate change is not even widely believed among scientists at this point, who note that climate scientists believe the court issues of such politician-made claims are widely misunderstood. A string of reports on RCMP investigations show that police are finding suspected arsonists all over Canada, and just as wildfires occur on a regular basis, so does arson. RCMP charged a 54-year-old woman in Glendon, Alberta, with 32 counts of arson in 2021. She was suspected of being responsible for a raft of wildfires in northeast Alberta. On Monday, Calgary police say arson was the cause of 2 brush fires in the city. Police evacuated the area upon discovering the blaze. In April, police arrested a man on 10 counts of arson in Cold Lake area of Alberta. RCMP in May arrested a woman for intentionally starting fires in the woods in Souk, British Columbia, and Grand Prairie, Alberta, and RCMP are saying blazes near the city are deliberately set by one or more arsonists. Canada's climate change minister provides no facts to prove that wildfires are mysteriously caused by a change in the weather. He just says it and demands that he be believed. That we believe what he has to actually say. Like anybody wants to believe anything that comes out of any government whatsoever right now. Everybody knows the corruption is ridiculous and gross, and is something that is going to probably be looked at forever. Meanwhile, the RCMP continues to investigate arsons, and forest mismanagement has not been addressed as a cause. Go rake the woods. Just saying, it is a thing. Yet, environmentalists have said they're prepared to spike trees and potentially kill loggers in order to stop deforestation, without even a glimmer of consideration that keeping forests near population centers intact could have negative impacts for fire management. The Trudeau government cannot say how Canada's carbon tax has done anything to fight climate change. All it has done is drastically increase the price of gas and home heating fuel, creating inflationary pricing and regularly increase the cost of living for all Canadians. Those Canadians continue to use the same amount of gas and fuel to drive to work and heat their homes in winter because that's called life. It's ultimately just a tax grab enveloped in a large swath of environmental rhetoric and mendacity. Even if Canadians stop driving gas-powered automobiles and abandon their houses to live in unheated caves with no air conditioning, it wouldn't make a dent in the global greenhouse gas emissions, thanks to countries like China, who don't follow the climate change rulebook. For the Trudeau government to raise the carbon tax as a result of forest fires would simply be a punitive move and not one that will have any impact on decreasing wildfires. It's just another leap of illogic from the government that refuses to answer questions or face reality. Isn't that something? And that's something, just nothing to see here. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it whatsoever. It's all good. It's all good. Trudeau's got it covered. He's just gonna actually go ahead and charge more, charge more for gas. Just 60 cents a liter. No big deal. No big deal. Suzanne, Ash, I know you're both from Canada. Can you tell me? Can you tell me what that 60 cents will actually do? How much more money that will actually cost you to actually do your daily job or conduct your daily business wherever you need to actually drive? Ash may be a little bit more than Suzanne, as I realize that Suzanne doesn't usually drive all that far. Someone has to pay for his lip injections and hair products. And don't forget his nanny. Yep, climate tax is going to fix arson. Yep, absolutely. 54 effing fires in my area. Dang, Ash. Be careful up there. Be careful up there. It's dangerous when you got that much fire going on. It's just the particulates that you breathe in a regular day from that can actually be very damaging in itself. They started to evacuate some areas near me today. Oh, damn. Only you can prevent forest fires. Yes. Yes. Smokey the Bear told us that several times. Oh, yes. Cow farts. Yes. Cow farts are a big thing when it comes to climate change. Don't forget the burping. The burping is a thing too. Get out now. The next 2 weeks is going to take the boreal forest. Yep. Do whatever you can to actually get the hell out of there. Move away as fast as you can. It's going to be very difficult and hard for a lot of people. I'll be praying for you and your family. Pray for your home stay safe and unaffected. California? Yeah. Justin Trudeau would eat himself if he was made of chocolate. Love. I don't know. Sorry, Ash, I can't read your thing. It's all paid liberal and NDP arsonists. Yeah, that's what we're figuring. Heidi, ho. What's up, dear? Good to see you. Good to see you. Ash, the French had the right idea on how to take the corrupt government. I bet they did. The idiots would glue their hands to the roadways, they'd start fires. So funny. I'm already paying $1.80 a liter. Adding 60 cents would make getting to work hell. I see. There you go. You're already paying $1.80 a liter. So you'd be up to $2.40 a liter, or Canadian dollars. That's a big change. That's a big change. That can actually cost you almost half of the half of paycheck. By the time it comes down to it, you start adding that up, how much fuel you actually use, and then how much it actually takes to take care of the households as well. I really seriously, I couldn't imagine actually dealing with that right now. Oh wait, we just dealt with that. Hey, Loki. Good to see you, dear. That's right. I never used the gas furnace last winter. We just stayed one room of the house with electric heater. There you go. There you go. Ash, I'll send you a link. Poliv made fun of Justin during the House of Commons thing. Okay. Sounds good. Guillotine. Yes, guillotine. Absolutely. And let's see here. So this is the clip that Ash just sent me from Global News. Chaos erupts in the House of Commons as Trudeau and Polivier exchange personal attacks. All right. Fun. Let's do that. Let's do that.
He is in love with the sound of his own voice and his own attacks, but he doesn't actually check the facts. They don't have a plan for the future of the Canadian economy. On this side, we're investing in and leveraging technologies that are cutting emissions and creating good jobs in Come By Chance in Newfoundland and Labrador, for example. And we're making sure that it's no longer free to pollute while giving Canadians money back.
Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
So the high school drama teacher over here accuses others of liking the sounds of their own voices. This from a guy who, if he were made of chocolate, he would eat himself.
That's hilarious.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I was a high school teacher before getting into politics, and I'm having a little trouble.
Yeah, teachers going into politics is one of the worst things that I've ever heard of. Those, and I'm not saying all, love you T3, but those who can't teach, and this asshole is proving it. This asshole's proven it.
Remembering what exactly the job that the Leader of the Opposition had before getting into politics.
Yes, and he left right in the middle of the semester, and I'm having trouble remembering why.
The Leader of the Opposition continues on his personal and his partisan attacks. We're going to continue to deal with.
Yeah, he's the one that's going on personal and partisan attacks. Not you at all. You said zero things that were personal and partisan. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
What's up, Divinity? Good to see you, dear.
What part? I have a question for all of you to reflect on. I don't want anybody to shout the answer out. This is not a question I want an answer. What part of while somebody is speaking, we sit quietly and listen, do we not understand? Write me an email if you want once we're done, and you can explain to me because I don't understand that.
I've looked through the history of Parliament.
Could you imagine each and every single one of them after they were done sending an email to him with a big ooh ah?
And there was one case where the speaker decided that he had had enough of question period and he left. In fact,
he just leaves. The speaker just up and leaves because of that. I've had enough of this. I don't want to hear anything that comes out of either side. Done. Out.
The entire sitting was adjourned for around 30 minutes, and I'm really in the mood for that today. So I'm going to ask the Prime Minister to start over from the beginning. I have a hypothesis for you, Mr. Speaker. Why you're seeing this behavior in the House? Have we ever seen a Prime Minister who has so little worthiness of the functions that he occupies? Illegal election funding, industrial espionage, Trudeau Foundation, contempt for intelligence services, and many, many other problems. We know so much about the reasons for which we should be asking for a real public inquiry, not for this buddy-buddy act with his friend. When will this Prime Minister put an end to these policies that are harmful for Quebec and very, very, very helpful to China?
I'm sorry, I'm going to have to ask the Honourable Prime Minister to stop for a second. We had started getting better. Now all of a sudden everybody's getting excited again. Maybe it's because the end of question period is coming, and maybe I'll just skip to the last question and then work my way back, and that might work out better. But I'm going to let the Prime Minister continue, and we'll see if I have to resort to that. The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Ash. That was good. That was fun. If he was made of chocolate, he'd eat himself. That's fun. um, I gotta actually collect myself on that for a second. That's good. This is so funny. So then we'll kind of move along here. There is a few things that had come out about these wildfires that can actually be very interesting to actually hear about if you don't understand. So this is the potentially long-term and fatal consequences of wildfire smoke. So as you can see, is this DC very, very smoky, cloudy. You can't not see a thing. The haze, it looks a little bit whiter today. It was not so orange as it was yesterday. It's still very dangerous in itself. This first week of June, a dense smoky haze blanketed the skies with northeast due to wildfires in Canada. The gray skyline, reminiscent of scenes from Star Wars, was raised concerns among medical professionals because poor air quality causes a cascade of health complications. Health experts warn individuals with asthma or respiratory issues to exercise extreme caution. They also emphasize the importance for everyone, regardless of health status, to avoid densely polluted areas if possible. Though some people dismiss the seriousness of wildfire smoke's impact on physical health, extensive research indicates that wildfire pollution poses serious health risks and can be potentially fatal. Even short-term exposure increases mortality risk. The tiny particulates that we inhale from wildfire pollution can penetrate lung tissue and potentially enter the bloodstream, allowing it to affect our vital organs. A team of Australian researchers conducted a study. Oh, Australian research, never mind, that doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. This whole thing is now thrown out. Just kidding. Just kidding. The Lancet Planetary Health Journal to investigate the impact of wildfire smoke in human health. Examining 749 locations worldwide, they discovered that a short-term increase in wildfire-related particulate matter smaller than 2.5 micrometers raises mortality risk. The effects lasted for 3 days. One of the study's authors, Dr. Yuming Gao, professor of global environmental health and biostatistics at Australia's Monash University, told the Epoch Times, for example, today's wildfire-related PM 2.5 particulate matter 2.5 micrometers can increase the risks of mortality today, tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow, he added. The study linked wildfire pollution to 33,510 deaths from respiratory and heart attacks, yet it acknowledges that this figure could be underestimated as it did not include countries with a significant number of wildfires. Another study led by Gao and his team in Brazil revealed that short-term exposure to wildfire pollution disproportionately affects the most vulnerable groups, individuals over 80 and children under 9. The evidence is clear that short-term exposure to wildfire smoke is harmful to human health, Gao said, noting that short-term exposure can lead to increased risks of respiratory, cardiovascular, and mental health issues and adverse maternal health and birth outcomes. Nice big breaths of chemicals. Man-made chemicals such as pesticides and fertilizers pose significant health risks when inhaled from wildfire smoke, according to Joshua Fu, who holds a doctorate in civil engineering and is a professor in civil environmental engineering at the University of Tennessee. Pollution from power plants and vehicles, pesticides, fertilizers, and chemicals in waste can all make their way into trees and plants. Fu told the Epoch Times, when those trees and plants burn, chemicals are released, along with health harming particulate matter in the smoke, gas, and ash. These chemicals, including benzene, formaldehyde, nitrogen cyanide, and mercury, have been linked to cancer and Parkinson's disease. Individuals with asthma are particularly vulnerable to severe health complications from wildfire pollution. Asthma, being an inflammatory lung condition, is exacerbated by the inflammatory effect of wildfire pollution, which affects everyone by promoting inflammation in the respiratory system. Lower income communities hit harder. Fu emphasized that there is a huge impact on lower income communities because they do not have highly efficient air conditioning and air filter units at home. If you have a uh, unreliable air conditioner that's actually taking the air from outside and filtering it and pushing it inside, if the filter isn't clean or able to be cleaned, you might actually be pushing these particulates right into your own home without you even realizing it. Lower income communities often face challenges in accessing quality health care, which can contribute to disproportionate impact of various illnesses as these families and individuals. Asthma is one such condition that tends to affect lower income communities more prominently. Low income households may face challenges maintaining good indoor air quality due to inadequate ventilation, mold, or dampness, and allergens like dust mites and cockroaches. These indoor air pollutants can worsen asthma symptoms and act as triggers. How to minimize health risks, experts Fu and Gao provided the following 5-step guideline for reducing wildfire pollution exposure. 1. Keep informed by tracking air quality reports and staying updated on wildfires and wildfire smoke status. You can follow the air quality index in your region here. 2. Reduce outdoor activities. 3. Stay indoors and use air purifiers or air conditioning with high efficiency particulate filters. HEPA air purifiers can effectively filter out PM 2.5 particles, reducing pollution levels within your home or bedroom. If you go outside, use masks, particularly N95 or P100 respirator masks. 5, make plan for evacuation if necessary. For instance, if the forecast indicates the smoke is expected to persist for an extended period, have a plan to get away for a while if possible. Furthermore, the following herbs and supplements have demonstrated their potential in promoting lung and respiratory health through the provision of diverse anti-inflammatory compounds. And I don't even know how to pronounce it, for an antioxidant effects, Scazandra for its anti-inflammatory properties, yarrow for antiviral properties, licorice for its anti-inflammatory properties, mullein for its expectorant properties, and oregano oil for the antioxidant properties of some of its compounds. When you actually think about it, with all of this that's actually going on, do not go outside. Do not let this actually dissipate. Now, they're actually saying that it's not dissipating as fast as they expected it to, It's not even coming close to the expectant time frame. They expected it to last like a day or two. Now that we're on day 2, they're probably pushing it out to probably day 4, maybe. It really kind of dangerous in itself to actually think about. Let's share this next screen here real quick. So then, there you go. Smoky haze blanketing U.S. Canada could last for days as wildfires rage. Winds won't budge. So you can see this large area from Michigan, Indianapolis, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York. Look at that. All the way down into North Carolina, South Carolina, parts of Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, Rhode Island, all of those states in between, they're all seriously being engulfed in this mass amount of smoke that is being spewed from these Canadian wildfires. On our air quality maps, purple signifies the worst of it. In reality, it's a thick, hazardous haze that's disrupting daily life for millions of people across the US and Canada, blotting out skylines and turning skies orange. And with weather systems expected to hardly budge, the smoky blanket billowing from wildfires in Quebec and Nova Scotia and sending plumes of fine particulate matter as far away as North Carolina should persist into Thursday and possibly the weekend. That means at least another day or more of dystopian style detour that's chased players from ball fields, actors from Broadway stages, delayed thousands of flights, and sparked a resurgence in mask wearing with remote work, all while raising concerns about the health effects of prolonged exposure to such bad air. The weather system that's driving the great Canadian American smoke out, a low pressure system over Maine and Nova Scotia, will probably be hanging around at least for the next few days, says U.S. National Weather Service meteorologist Brian Ramsey. Thank you, Brian, with a Y. Conditions are likely to remain unhealthy at least until you find direction changes or the fires get put out. Since the fires are raging, they're really large. They're probably going to continue for weeks, but it's really just going to be all about the wind shift. Across the eastern U.S., officials warn residents to stay inside and limit or avoid outdoor activities again Thursday, extending code red air quality alerts in some places for a third straight day as forecasts showed winds continuing to push smoke-filled air south. In Washington, D.C., Mayor Muriel Bowser ordered schools to cancel outdoor recess, sports, and field trips Thursday. Just the outdoor sports, don't worry about it. You can still go out and about, get on the buses, and make your way to the school because, it's also necessary to make you go outside at all. In suburban Philadelphia, officials set up an emergency shelter so people living outside can take refuge from the haze. There you go. Let's take in all of those homeless real quick and make sure that they are healthy and that they're not outside. It makes sense. It makes sense. It really does. At the same time, why are we allowing these children to still go outside to go to school? That makes no sense. New York Governor Kathy Hochul says the state is making 1 million N95 masks, the kind of prevalent to the height of COOF pandemic, available at state facilities, including 400,000 in New York City. She also urged residents to stay put. You should need to go out to take a walk. You don't need to push the baby in the stroller. This is not a safe time to do that. The message may be getting through. So far, officials said Wednesday, New York City has yet to see an uptick in 911 calls related to respiratory issues and cardiac arrests. Ah, yes, cardiac arrests. You don't say. More than 400 blazes burning across Canada have left 20,000 people displaced. The U.S. has sent more than 600 firefighters and equipment to Canada. Other countries are also helping. Like I said, Korean GNPR said it yesterday. We will send anybody that is necessary to help with this disaster. And there is 600 firefighters and equipment that are no longer in the United States and being shipped to Canada. What happens when all of a sudden something happens here in the States when we don't have our own firefighters? Who cares? Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau spoke to President Joe Biden by phone on Wednesday. Trudeau's office said he thanked Biden for his support, that both leaders acknowledged the need to work together to address the devastating impacts of climate change. Canadian officials say this is shaping up to be the country's worst wildfire season ever. It started early on drier than usual ground and accelerated quickly. The smoke from the blazes has been lapping into the U.S. since last month, but intensified with recent fires in Quebec, where about 100 were considered out of control Wednesday. I can taste the air, Dr. Ken Strumpf said in a Facebook post in Syracuse, New York. There's where the sky looked as colorful nickname of the local university, Orange. The smoke was so thick in Canada's capital, Ottawa, that office towers just across the Ottawa River were barely visible. In Toronto, Yili Ma said her hiking group canceled a planned hike this week, and she was foregoing the restaurant patios that are beloved summer tradition in a nation known for hard winters. I put my masks away over a year, and now I'm putting on my mask since yesterday, Ma lamented. Eastern Quebec got some rain Wednesday, but Montreal-based Environmental Canada meteorologist Simon Legault said no significant rain is expected for days in the remote areas of central Quebec, where the wildfires are more intense. In the U.S., federal officials paused some flights bound Wednesday for New York's LaGuardia Airport and slowed planes to Newark and Philadelphia because smoke was limiting visibility. Major League Baseball's Yankees and Phillies had their games postponed, and the Broadway Hamilton and Camelot canceled Wednesday performances. Had prima facie star Jodie Comer left a matinee after 10 minutes because of difficulty breathing. The show restarted with an understudy whose publicist said it was not to be at Central Park's outdoor stage. Either Shakespeare in the Park canceled its Thursday and Friday performances of Hamlet, saying, "'Tis not nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of wretched air." Wonderful for them to actually use their own verbiage to actually make such a thing happen. You can see in this little picture here, image or whatever, the difference between the clean skyline and the very, very smoggy orange skyline that is there. I'm going to go take a quick glance. There was something that was sent about the Canadian wildfires. Let's see if I can actually find this. Where was this put? Where was this put? There was a tweet. There's a tweet. I know that I shared this tweet already once. I'm not really sure exactly where it is. On the start of these particular fires, and you can actually see each and every single one of them. Oh, here it is. You can see each and every single one of them had pretty much started in the same second. Very interesting to actually think that climate change would actually be the contributing factor to such a thing, for it to all just spontaneously combust at the same exact time. Nothing to see here, folks. There you go. So you can see this.
All of southeast Quebec just caught on fire, guys.
All of Southeast Quebec just started on fire, guys. In sync. In sync. Every single one of those.
Look at that.
Just so happened to, oh, look, we all started fires at the same exact second. At the same exact second. Really? That's not how that usually works. Just saying, that's a lot of fire to spontaneously start at the same time. Do they think we're just dumb? They're like, the people are dumb. They're ignorant to the point. Who gives a shit about them? In here, I've been listening on Roku and can finally type. I'm trying to find those emojis of which y'all speak. They're not on my phone. Some boring ones with people are, but nothing out of the norm. Maybe it's just something that was temporarily rolled out or whatever, and they haven't hit all platforms. But yeah, they were above all of the other new emojis that they had placed out there. Divinity, there's no actual proof. It's pretty clear he's Castro's. What's up, 357? Good to see you. Good to see you. Glad you're here. If you're still. Be right back. Listen in the background. Awesome. Did you just push a prego emoji at me? As long as she wasn't pushing the pregnant man, all's good. Just kind of scrolling through chat here real quick just to see if there's anything that I should actually read. If you think that I missed something, retype it, and I'll actually try catching it as we move on through these next few things. I do have a few things about Biden. Let's see, this was actually done. Remove that. Where are we at? Hour and 42. Ooh. We should actually just move on to Gavin Newsom's proposal for the 28th Amendment. Very disturbing in itself. Something I believe that shouldn't actually be, but, he's going to push for it anyway. He's going to continue to push for it anyway. So far, the wildfires in Saskatchewan are holding. We're safe right now where we live, but that could change in a few hours. Yeah, if the wind changes, gusts can change and move all this in a different direction. I could be actually affected within moments without even, if the winds actually change enough. Being that I'm, in South Dakota, which is near enough to Canada when you actually think about it. We've dealt with smoke in the last few weeks from wildfires out of Wyoming, Montana. So I mean, those seem to have actually been taken care of just before all this started. Anyway, let's read about this here. If y'all haven't already, please smash that like button, whether you're here on the YouTube side or you're over on the Rumble. Especially if you like what you're seeing. If you don't like what you're seeing, hit the like button anyway and leave a comment. Leave a comment on where you think I can do better. Here you go. California Governor Newsom proposes 28th Amendment to limit gun rights, impose assault weapons ban. What are assault weapons? Anybody want to try explaining to me what an assault weapon really is? I'm with you on that. Go Hagen. Fuck Commie Newsom. Just a stunt. Yep. Let's see. There's a Democrat California Governor Gavin Newsom has proposed a 28th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution to curtail specific aspects of gun rights. Our ability to make more perfect union is literally written into the Constitution, Newsom said on Thursday press statement announcing the proposed amendment. So today, I'm proposing the 28th Amendment to the United States Constitution to do just that. The 28th Amendment will enshrine in the Constitution common sense, gun safety measures that Democrats, Republicans, independents, and gun owners overwhelmingly support. Wrong. Not a single gun owner is going to overwhelmingly support this idiocy. Zero of them. Like pregnant men? Mm-hmm. While leaving the Second Amendment unchanged and respecting America's gun-owning tradition. Newsom's proposal would specifically raise the minimum age to purchase a firearm from 18 to 21. If you want to actually decide when a person becomes an adult and raise the age on one thing, raise the age on everything. When you actually say, well, we want to actually make it so that 16-year-olds can vote, but we don't want you to possess a gun until you're 21, what makes you think that their mind is actually, well enough to actually vote when they are not well enough to actually own a quote-unquote assault rifle? Implement a universal background check process, and bar the civilian ownership of assault weapons. The amendment would also impose a reasonable waiting period for gun purchases. Constitutional amendments can be proposed either by a 2/3 vote in both houses of Congress or by a constitutional convention of 2/3 of the U.S. states. Any amendment proposed would then have to be ratified by 3/4 of the state legislatures or 3/4 of the conventions called in each state for ratification. A man of action, Governor Gavin Newsom, has the backbone to actually fuck off. He has no backbone. This man does not have such a. Oh, did I call him? Maybe I misgendered the guy just now. Jesus. Wow. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Never mind. To actually do something about the gun fetish culture around weapons of war and tackle the relentless problem of gun violence and mass shootings. Sorry, but usually, criminals don't go around looking to be licensed before they go cause a crime. They just go and they cause crime over and over again, and they'll do what they wish. As someone impacted by gun violence, I have an obligation to elevate the voices of victims, of those of us left behind in the wake of tragedy. Democratic State Assembly member Reggie Jones Swire also endorsed Newsom's proposal, saying, "This bold but fair resolution calls on other states to join us in protecting some of the most effective ways of reducing gun violence." Details of the proposal. In a video accompanying this rollout of proposed amendment, Newsom included a graphic claiming is 87% support for background checks, 81% support for raising minimum age, 77% support for a waiting period, and 61% for banning assault rifles. Maybe because more and more people actually understand the difference between an assault rifle that doesn't exist and anything else that is actually just that, a rifle. Newsom's video appears to cite an April poll conducted by Fox News that the news publication has not released the specific wording of the questions it asked in that poll. Well, Newsom's proposed amendment calls for banning the civilian ownership of assault weapons. His press release did not specify what they considered to be an assault weapon. He said only that they serve no other purpose than to kill as many people as possible in a short amount of time, and are weapons of war our nation's founders never foresaw. It doesn't matter which kind of weapon it is. You should not have the right to tell me what I can possess or not. This old wretched piece of shit needs to go away, and hopefully Nancy Pelosi's nephew, Gavin Newsom, will actually eventually just fall off the face of the planet. Maybe. We can only speculate. Numerous states and local rules seeking to ban assault weapons have included bans on numerous models of semi-automatic rifles and handguns. California's own laws describe assault weapons as semi-automatic rifles with detachable magazines and pistol grip, thumbhole stock, flash suppressor, or forward grip, or a semi-automatic rifle that has fixed magazine capable of holding more than 10 rounds. A semi-automatic pistol capable of accepting a detachable magazine that can hold more than 10 rounds is also considered an assault weapon. That's quite the list of guns that they're like, oh well, what's this? Take 3/4 of the guns that are out there, and we'll just kind of it's label them with something that they're just not. Assault weapons. As in a semi-automatic shotgun with a pistol grip or ability to accept detachable magazine of any capacity. So anything that is an armor light, AR-15, 16, or any other civilian gun, not military, civilian. Let's remove all of those and say you don't get access to any of them because we are afraid that you'll use them, maybe potentially in a proper way. Maybe. Very disgusting and disturbing to actually think that the 28th Amendment, trying to be pushed by this ridiculous asshole, may actually become a thing. This caused me to look up other amendments like the 27th and the 26th, where they lowered the voting age from 21 to 18. That was a mistake. Yet some of them wanted to actually try lowering it even further to the age of 16, and that's something. What up, Lucky Chucky? He says, hey, talk about Apple Vision to headset. I'm worried for Scotty, Koolfrogg. Okay. You want to enlighten me a little bit more on what you're actually trying to tell me, Lucky Chucky? I think Newsom is misreading the current and the crime. People are going to want these kinds of weapons. Definitely self-protection is more popular than ever. Yes, definitely. Heidi says, I was just trying to scroll up to see how she was doing, Suzanne. Sorry, Ash. I'll be thinking and hoping you and your family and your area's safety as well. Yes, exactly. All of those wonderful Canadians that we love so much. Let's hope that they all stay safe. Sorry on the phone. I'm worried about how it'll harm society. Yeah. When it comes down to it, that's exactly what it's going to do. It's going to actually harm society in a whole. And can be very disturbing and distracting to actually think that that's the stuff that they're actually looking at pushing for laws. There's nothing better for you to do. Nothing better for you to do at all. But push this relentless bullshit that assault weapons are a thing. I saw a video about it and how it'll cement Apple's dominance for making people forgery the real world. Forget the real world? It's an interesting thought. There's so much going on, and let's see here. So to not step away from Gavin Newsom, as we try rounding this show out in some way, shape, or form here. New California bill would prohibit employees from stopping shoplifters. Don't stop the shoplifters. Allow them to do what they're doing. If you go ahead and try stopping them, you are the one that's caused the problem, and you are the one that should actually be taken out. So I mean, we've seen in the past month or so several different businesses move out of California completely. Just be like, nope, we're not going to deal with it. We keep on getting, there's too much theft, and they've shuttered business after business after business. to curtail just that. So, sign a law saying that criminals can go around and shoplift as much as they want without repercussion. You're going to run more and more businesses out of the state of California. You might as well just allow some kind of earthquake to occur that would actually split California in half and watch half of it just drop into the ocean. That's the next step. I'd like to take on it. People are raving about it and just think it's super harmful to us as a species. Yeah, I'm with you, Lucky Chucky. I got you. Apple's dominance is making people forget the real world. I'll have to look into that. I'll have to look into that video. See what that's exactly about. I'll write that down here real quick. All right, we just push through this bill here. It says California bill prohibited employees from confronting shoplifters or active shooters has passed the state Senate in spite of opposition from retailers who say it would add to the state's escalating retail theft problem. With growing awareness of workplace violence, California needs smarter guidelines to keep workers safe in the office or on the job site, said the bill's author, Senator Dave Cortez, a Democrat out of San Jose, in a press release under SB 553. Employers would be prohibited from forcing their workers to confront active shoplifters and would set standards for companies of all kinds to address workplace violence prevention. According to Cortez, the bill is focused on protecting employees and does not affect private security guards. In fact, it highlights the need for dedicated safety personnel, according to his office. The bill does not prohibit employees from stopping theft, but does prohibit employers from having a policy requiring them to confront shoplifters, according to Cortez. Now, I was the manager for Radio Shack for several years. That really seriously is in general practice in most places, that if somebody's going to steal something, allow them to steal it, and then call the police and allow the police to actually check footage to actually go after them. Now, are you calling the police afterwards to actually get the police to actually go after them and actually, press charges against them at a later date? Is that actually happening? If that's not happening, what is this law going to do? It's just going to damage even more and more, as more and more criminals are just going to continue to do what they're doing. It does prevent employers from asking non-private security personnel to confront a person involved in criminal activity. We don't want rank and file employees to be forced to place themselves in harm's way. I kind of agree with that. Don't put yourself in harm's way when it comes down to it. Why would you want to? Michael Hagan, my hometown went to shit. Yep, that's everybody's hometown has gone to shit, brother. Everyone's. Supporters of this bill argue that worker safety is an emergency. Assaults at stores have increased in the state faster than national average, rising 42% from 2018 to 2020, with a 63% increase at grocery stores and a 75% jump in convenience stores, Cortez said in an analysis of the bill. Over 50 states and national organizations are against the measure. However, including the California Chamber of Commerce, the California Hispanic Chambers of Commerce, and the California Retailers Association, among other, representing a wide range of sectors. Unfortunately, we are creating an environment where I actually think this bill will do the opposite, which is create more workplace violence. California Retailers Association President Rachel Michelin told the Epoch Times, I think you'd have more people coming in brazenly stealing from stores because there's nothing anyone can do about it. The bill additionally eliminates the ability for a store's loss prevention employees to approach anyone suspected of shoplifting, according to Michelin. I mean, you no longer have to go walk into the store and try getting away with theft. Try and hide the product that you're trying to actually take. Stuff it down your pants, up your shirt, down your jacket sleeve, down in the inside pockets, wherever. Wherever. However, they're just like, just take it. Just take it. All you got to do is just go walk in there. You want it, you need it, can't afford it, just take it. It's okay. It's okay. We're not going to do anything about it. So disturbing. A lot of our stores already have hands-off policies. A lot of companies will fire employees over that. Yeah, you don't touch people. Don't go up to them and try to physically stop them. You can say, "Hey, you stop," and see if they'll actually try stopping. But this law actually goes against that as well. The legislation would have a huge impact in small businesses, she said. This comes at a time in California when we're facing record shoplifting and organized crime is through the roof. Crime crises. Retail crime in the Golden State has reached a crisis in many cities. Experts say in California, retailers lose more than $7.8 billion a year to theft. Credit giant Capital One reported in April. In San Francisco this year, several major retailers have closed stores, citing a rise in crime and a changing environment. Last month, Nordstrom announced the closing of its 2 remaining stores in the city because of the deteriorating situation in downtown San Francisco. So where's the next nearest Nordstrom? Probably miles and miles away, where you're going to have to actually try driving to actually get to somewhere to actually find the clothes that you like so much. Before that, Whole Foods Market, Walgreens, Amazon Go, and Anthropologie also closed outlets in downtown. When Amazon closes their own storefronts, really makes you kind of think. This week, the city's largest hotel, the 1,921 room San Francisco Hilton, and the 1,024 room Park 55, stopped making loan payments, electing to walk away. The hotel's owners, Park Hotels and Resorts, announced on June 5th. After much thought and consideration, we believe it is the best interest for Park stockholders to materially reduce our current exposure to the San Francisco market, said Thomas Baltimore Jr., chairman and CEO of Park, in a statement. Now more than ever, we believe San Francisco's path to recovery remains clouded and elongated by major challenges, both old and new: record high office vacancy, concerns over street conditions, lower return to office in peer cities, and a weaker than expected citywide convention calendar through 2027. Retailers campaigned for change. Last year, the California Chamber of Commerce and Retailers created California's Against Retail and Residential Theft, a coalition of chambers of commerce, businesses, and business organizations to raise public awareness of the state's growing theft problem. The state's store owners have reported an increase in violence statewide, according to the coalition. The losses have increased nearly 60% over the last 5 years. SB 553 doesn't address the root cause of the problem, retail crime, spokesman Matt Ross told the Epoch Times. I don't think this bill will do anything to affect the problems with retail crime in any way, shape, or form. What we need to do is get more cops dedicated to retail theft and the violence that's associated with it. The bill takes the wrong approach and puts the onus on businesses and not on criminals. We need greater enhancements for habitual criminals, and we need to see some revisions to Prop 47. Proposition 47, the coalition is advocated for California's official to undo Proposition 47, a law passed by voters in 2014 that reduced many felony offenses to misdemeanors, including drug possession. It also raised the minimum of felony thefts to $950, which many critics say is the main reason shoplifting and theft have risen across the state. Now, I remember when they first actually did this. There was one guy, one store where he actually froze every single product in the store up to $950. Only once he actually got up to the counter, he was able to scan it where you'd pay it, where it would actually reduce it down to its regular price after tax. Very interesting thought process, as you know, anything that you take from my store is a felony. So, I mean, if that needs to be, maybe that needs to be. Maybe that's something that should actually be looked at across, all business. This session, the legislature has struck down 5 bills authorized by Democrats and Republicans alike that would have addressed retail theft, the coalition reported in May. Crime is on the rise, and the legislature is doing nothing about it, the organization said in a statement. Theft is growing faster than sales, an organization added. Every one of these bills died without a vote on the floor, the coalition stated. These are not victimless crimes. Retail theft puts business owners, customers, and employees' personal safety at risk, as well as it actually raises the price of the product when people steal the shit. How ignorant can you be to not actually realize that when you take something, somebody has to pay for it somewhere? Idiocy at its greatest. Retail theft has become a problem in California's bigger cities. Last year, stores in Los Angeles and Orange counties were victims of smash and grab robberies. Assemblyman Rudy Salas, Democrat out of Bakersfield, attempted to reduce the felony theft threshold back to $400 in 2022, but his legislation failed in the Assembly's Public Safety Committee after the committee's chairman said Black and brown communities would be impacted. Let's throw a little bit of racism in there. No big deal. Whatever. The committee also voted down another bill by a Republican lawmaker that would have repealed Proposition 47 in 2022. Very interesting in itself. Where are we at? Just after the 2 hours. Just after the 2 hours that I like to be at. I think there was one more thing that I really did want to actually hit on. There's actually a couple. Let's see how fast we can actually make it through this next one. Being that my tadpole is actually still awake and still at it. Let's see if chat has anything else for me before we actually hit on it. Let's see here. Great show, Koolfrogg. Your coverage was spot on, dude. Thank you, Suzanne. Glad that you're actually enjoying what you're hearing tonight. TR, hey, Koolfrogg. Just woke up after sleeping for 13 hours. We stopped at the truck stop. It is actually a good sleep. I feel so much better tonight. Awesome. Glad that you got the rest that you needed, brother. Truck on, brother. The Dems are the only ones who throw race around, but the right are the racist ones. Yeah, there should be a question mark after that, right? I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. It's always the one side that throws around the racism and say it's the other side that's racist. Although I had a sister-in-law that was nuts. She would walk into a grocery store, fill up her cart, and walk out of the effing door with a cart full of food, usually meats, and never paid a cent for it. It just raises the price for everybody else. How ridiculous. Ignorance at its best. Michael Hagen, I see you. My hometown went to shit. Yeah, I know, brother. It sucks. It sucks to actually see the grossness. No, I made a statement. All right. Yeah. However you want to actually put it, it's fine. There's no period. There's no exclamation point. So I added a question mark. So let's hit this one. So, just because I like to actually throw and um, reveal each and every single woke company that's out there. We get another one. Nike set to unveil gender inclusive clothing line for children. For Pride Month. Another company to go ahead and just say, oh nope, screw you, Nike. Nike is at it again, aiding and abetting the radical groomer agenda with its new line of gender inclusive clothing for small children that it plans to unveil for June Pride Month. The news is revealed in an email sent by Nike employees. As so-called the Pride Month kicked off this month. The email, first revealed by Daily Wire, notes that the new clothing line will be introduced maybe as soon as June 13th in collaboration with Nike Kids Design. Join the Pride Network as we spotlight the pioneering gender inclusive kids one fit apparel. And the email says, according to Fox News. The email also outlined many other programs and events that Nike is planning for Pride Month. This year's theme is Together We Are Undeniable. The LGBTQIA plus community continues to fight for equality, their fight to be themselves. Yes, the email signed by Heidi O'Neill, Nike's president of consumer and marketplace. The Nike email adds that the theme centers around determination, celebrating icons of the community and the progress we have and will continue to make in light of recent attacks and restrictions on the community and their allies. Yeah, go ahead and sink yourself. Sink yourself, Nike. Go for it. Do just that over and over again. Over and over again. You're just going to watch yourself sink. There's so many companies that are attempting to do just that. And seriously, it's disturbing in itself to actually think that we need to be so inclusive of all these pride moments. Where do we get included in this? Where do we get included in this in any way, shape, or form? Vicky T, good night, dear. Sleep well. See you in the morning. Never liked Nike. I mean, pretty much when you look at it, Nike was it was a very well-known company that was spread through sports attire. So I mean, if whatever you want to go ahead and boycott because of that, you might as well just add a couple more things to banning or to boycotting, other than just Nike in itself. How about any one of those players that wears Nike, that actually pushes the Nike brand as their sponsor? You stop watching them. You stop paying attention to what they're doing. You stop paying attention to all the sports that are behind it. And then what? Nobody cares if they are themselves. It's themselves fucking with everyone and everyone else, literally. I'm gonna have to figure out to find somebody else to actually mod, somebody that will actually will be here throughout the duration of the show. I was listening to the radio in the car today, and the LGBTQ plus has celebrations of days in Pride Month that cover over a third of the year. Yep, over the third of the year. Yep. It's ridiculous how many days of the year we actually do go ahead and actually push Pride. About as ridiculous as much as we push, Black History. Where's White History Month? Is there a White History Month? Oh, they say all the other months are? I doubt it. I really doubt it. Yes, that we actually did the math on it the other day or whatever on show that actually did show how many days of the year were actually LGBTQ plus celebration days. Is so disgusting. Is so disturbing that we actually go ahead and and push and promote this over and over again. I really dislike it, and it's very, very disturbing. I thought this was freaking hilarious. I'm gonna do one last thing before we actually walk away today, and it's a little bit of something that I normally don't cover, but I found it interesting. Johnny Depp tells Disney to pound sand, refuses to return to another Pirates of the Caribbean movie. In this report, this is Johnny Depp's days of playing Captain Jack Sparrow in a lucrative Disney franchise is officially over, according to new media report. Depp is still furious of how Disney treated him after Amber Heard lied about him. Depp was eventually vindicated, and Heard was disgraced by a jury. They blind dropped him even though Amber had lied her ass off, a friend told the Daily Mail. I would say that's likely he will spend most of his time in France painting and making music. There could be an odd film. Depp called himself a hillbilly from Kentucky to Keynes last month, describing those who would cancel him as a species or tower of mashed potatoes covered in light from a computer screen. I started to experience these circuses. We can call them carnivals. So long ago, your life becomes a circus, he said. It's not it's not that you get used to the circus, but you realize there's nothing you can do but inhale, exhale, and accept what happens in the next steps. It's still weird to me. Jerry Bruckheimer said in 2022, when talking about if Disney would want Depp back, you'd have to ask them. I can't answer that question. I really don't know. I would love to have him in the movie. He's a friend, a terrific actor, and it's unfortunate that personal lives creep into everything we do. But according to Daily Mail, no amount of egging by Disney will work. Despite furious speculation about the actor's potential return to Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, which reports suggested could earn him up to $20 million, Depp is, his pals say, done with Disney once and for all because he is still furious over the way the studio unceremoniously dropped him when his ex-wife Amber Heard accused him of abuse. Having spent the last few months weighing what he does and doesn't want to do, and on the eve of his 60th birthday on Friday, oh, happy birthday, Johnny Depp. There you go. Sources close to the star say that appearing in a film for Disney does not interest him. The pal says he has decided that no matter how lucrative the offer or how cameo the role, he will never agree to go back for this particular studio film. Done. Finished. Finito. No longer, no more will there be Johnny Depp's Pirates of the Caribbean. As far as that goes, if they go and they try to actually recreate any other Pirates of the Caribbean with any other actor, they're going to turn it to trash. They will turn it to trash immediately, and we'll watch Disney go ahead and sink and fail. All right. Well, let's see what anybody had to say about that. Someone's crossing into my territory. Yeah, well, somebody needs to do it. Just saying. It's all right, nerd. It's all right. You should actually, probably do a little bit more research on it and probably do a more in-depth coverage. Something that you might actually enjoy. I bet you'd actually do that. Loved up, always have. Yes, I watched all the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. This is all the few movies that I have seen in the past, whatever. Those ones I actually purchased for my son as he was growing up. He loved them so much. He would watch them over and over and over again all day long. That was what he enjoyed the most. So, yes, I had seen all of them. And like I said, he's just going to turn it to shit when they go and they try to cast anybody else. All that being said, if you all have not done so already, please go ahead, smash that like button, share this out to all your friends, let them know where you like to hang out and hold that conversation. If you did like it, do so. If you didn't like it, hit that like button anyway and leave a comment down below and let me know what you didn't like. We'll see what we can do to actually make it better for everyone. Thank you all so very, very much. Love y'all. We will actually be back here tomorrow morning for another episode of Waking Up with Koolfrogg and Talking Trash and Truth. There will be also a open mic Friday for another Shtick with Koolfrogg tomorrow night. Those of you that know who Loki is, she sounds like she is going to make a great attempt of actually showing up, and we'll see if she does. We'll see if she does. Thank you again. Have a good night. Love y'all. Later.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.